kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
You have just tuned in to the Mag Nerd Podcast, your home for everything in music, anime, and gaming. What is up, people? Showing Up the King here, back with another video, and today I come bringing very, very bad news. As you guys can tell from the title, Gina Carano has been fired from Mandalorian. She has been dropped by Lucasfilm, and it's very, very disturbing and upsetting, and I wanted to talk about it. And I definitely think with this topic, it's something that definitely needs to be discussed because there's a lot of controversy right now between freedom of speech and cancel culture and things of that nature, and I definitely wanted to put my 2 cents into it because, again, I definitely think it deserves its moment. So let's talk about what happened with Gina Carano first, and then I'll kind of expunge it. And again, I apologize in advance if I start to rant because this is definitely one of those moments where that's going to happen. So yesterday, Gina Carano apparently tweeted out. I didn't see the exact tweets. I know they're out there. Apparently, she tweeted out saying that New Age Republicans are being persecuted akin to Holocaust survivors or something to that effect. Regardless, that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back and then caused her to get fired from Lucasfilm and such. Now, again, I have a story article here, and I'll read from it really quickly. It says, UTA has also dropped the actor who will no longer be a part of the Star Wars galaxy. So apparently she was also a part of an agency with UTA, and they also dropped her. And it basically just says, Gina Carano will no longer be returning to the Mandalorian or the Star Wars galaxy after sharing a post on social media implying that being a Republican today is like being a Jew during the Holocaust. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future, a Star Wars Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement. Nevertheless, her social media posts to generate people based on their culture and religious identity are abhorrent and unacceptable. That was just a canned statement from Lucasfilm. Now, here's the deal. Before I get into this rant, I want to make it perfectly and abundantly clear. I love Gina Carano. Like, I love Gina Carano, okay? Like, she was one of the first crushes that I had. It was just instant. Like, again, it was to the point for like months. My wife used to side-eye me every time this woman came on stage because that's how enamored I was with her. Like, I saw Gina Carano for the first time when they did that American Gladiator reboot on on NBC, and when they did this thing, excuse me, it's cold out here on the East Coast, boys, so you're gonna have to forgive me of blowing my nose a little bit. So, as I was saying, I has been in love with Gina Carano ever since I saw her on American Gladiator as Crush. I immediately, like, as soon as I saw her, first knock that chick off with the pugil stick on the little battle stage, it was just like hearts. Like I was through the moon, over the moon for her. Then after that, I was hooked, like following her, like she was amazing. When she moved on into MMA, and then even when she moved on to doing her Haywire movie, again, everybody hated that movie, but I was there opening weekend to support her because I love me some Gina Carano. So when I found out later on that she got hired to be in The Mandalorian, I was like, I started watching The Mandalorian strictly because of her. And again, I ended up loving that show, but again, I initially started watching it because of her. So I say this just to make you guys understand that this, what I'm about to say now, does not come from a place of hate. It doesn't come from a place of being a cancer culturist or whatever you want to call it. She's stupid. She's a goddamn idiot. She fucked with the church's money, and she got what she deserved. There, I said it. I am so frustrated with her because people like her who come from a place of privilege, and when I say privilege, I'm not talking about necessarily white privilege, they come from a place of privilege of being in that the same thing that you try to bash as the world that you live in. You live in the world of celebrity status. You have that privilege of being a celebrity, and you don't understand the simple context of your words have power. Your words have consequences. Like and again, like I feel like this has to be like a Republican thing. Like, and again, I do not want to turn this into a public I do not want to turn this into a thing about Democrats versus Republicans, a political thing. I don't want this to be a political thing, but it is, because you certain people seem to think that the your First Amendment rights absolve you of any consequences or any kind uh of you basically think nothing can happen to you. So you think that you again like you think that because you have your First Amendment rights, that gives you the right to go in and say whatever you want, and nobody can say anything back to you, or nobody can hold you accountable for anything that you say. And that's not how it fucking works. Like, Gina Carano has been going around for months, being a mask denier, talking all this crazy shit on social media. And again, I ignored 90% of that. Like, I knew she was a Trump supporter, and I knew she was a mass denier. And again, I forgave all of that, because again, I thought her beliefs are her beliefs. As long as she is, as long as she's not saying anything that's openly like super racist, like she didn't, like, to my knowledge, I didn't see her say anything about, Black Lives Matter or any of that other crazy stuff, or else I would have just cut her off from the jump. And again, that's my right to do that. But again, like, I took her mass denier shit and COVID denying shit as I was like, look, you crazy as hell. COVID is real. Look, at the end of the day, I have people that I work with. I work in the medical field. Like, I have the COVID vaccine. I just got my second shot. I am vaccinated from COVID. But guess what? I still wear a mask every time I go into a store. I have a card that says that I am COVID vaccinated. I can't catch the virus, whatever. But whenever I go into a Best Buy, a Target, or Wegmans, or wherever, I still wear a fucking mask, because that is a policy that's been put into place, and I'm not going to go against it. I'm not going to go running around with my car saying, I don't have to wear a mask anymore. I've got my vaccine, and you did it. Just go along with it. It's not going to kill you. Wear the fucking mask. But you know what? This is not about COVID. I'm not. Let's not go down that road. So essentially, what I'm saying is that she took her whole mask denier conspiracy and just kept going with it. Like that. Like, they warned. I'm pretty sure they warned her during that time. Like, look, you fucking with your money, because apparently Lucasfilm had plans to give her her own spin-off show or her own movie. And you can tell, if you watch season 2 of The Mandalorian, you can clearly tell that they had plans to do stuff with her on her own, because she became like some sort of pioneer, or like some sort of sheriff in the town. So you can clearly tell there were plans. But apparently, according to the reports, once she started talking about the whole mask denier stuff and all that other stuff, those plans were canceled. And this is the thing. Here's the thing. You guys have to realize that, number one, Disney is very, very, very strict when it comes to their stuff. And then on top of that, you have the person in charge of Star Wars is Kathleen Kennedy. And we all know that Kathleen Kennedy is like super woke. She hates the Mandalorian. She hates Luke Skywalker. She hates all the whole, Luke Skywalker being in the Mandalorian. Like, she hates all of that shit. So for you to continue to keep pushing the bear and poking the bear and thinking you can come out and talk about comparing Republicans to Jews in the Holocaust, and you didn't think that they were going to fire you? Are you fucking stupid? Like, I'm just so disappointed. Like, again, and now you got people coming out talking about, oh, Pedro Pascal has been saying shit, why aren't you firing him? And they talking about Amber Heard and all this other extra shit. And to all of that, I just say, look, Amber Heard is a whole nother monster. Like I hate cancel culture more than anybody. You guys go back to look at any of my videos. I fucking hate cancel culture. I fucking hate it. And again, I personally believe that Johnny Depp got a raw deal. I don't think he should have been fired for Pirates of the Caribbean, and I definitely think that Amber Heard is a lying piece of shit, and she should be fired from Aquaman. And I loved her performance in Aquaman, but I definitely think she's an abusive piece of shit, and she should definitely go down because I don't think Johnny Depp did 99% of the shit they said he did. But again, that's a story for a different day. What I'm saying is that two things can be different. Like again, I'm not gonna sit here and blanket statement everybody into one thing. I think that what people have to understand and what you masterminds and what all you crazy people need to understand is that just because you have your First Amendment rights does not mean you do not have to take responsibility for the words you say, dumbasses. So prime example, you just because you have your First Amendment rights, you can't walk into a crowded room and scream fire and then try to claim, oh, First Amendment rights when there is no actual fire. You can get in trouble for that. You can't go online on TikTok and say racist ass shit wearing the fucking logo of your company, and then when the people report you and get you fired from your job for saying racist shit, you get mad and be like, well, what I was saying it off the clock, and how can you fire me for saying what I said off the clock? You still represent that company. And if you were dumb enough to go online and say racist shit online and someone calls you out to your company and you get fired, that's on you. First Amendment does not apply. Same thing with Gina Carano. You don't fuck with the Holocaust. Anybody knows that. And you work in Hollywood. You work in Hollywood. You so now this is just the beginning. Any endorsements or any of that shit is gone. She's done. She is fucking done. And all because she could not keep her mouth shut. Like you don't think that there are other celebrities who think like you, who are Republican or who think that the whole mask thing and COVID thing is a hoax and all that other shit. Yes, they exist. But you know what the difference is? Is they know that their money is more important than their stupid ass belief system. So they shut the fuck up. And that's exactly what you should have done. You should have shut the fuck up, and you didn't. You had multiple opportunities, and that's the problem. A lot of these celebrities don't have good people in their corners who just tell them the straight truth and give it to them no chaser. And that's what happened with Gina Carano. If she had somebody in her circle that was telling her to shut the fuck up and get your money, then she wouldn't be in this position right now. Because now at this point, the only places where she's going to get work in Hollywood is on Fox News or some shit like that. So she might as well call the My Pillow guy and try to get a job on there as a pundit, because that's the only time she's going to get any money, get any work in Hollywood now. She's fucking done. She's fucking done. All right, guys. Again, mini rant over. I might come back and talk about this again later on, but again, I'm just so disappointed because again, I really wanted this to work out for Gina Carano, and I just feel like she just made the wrong moves and just did some dumb shit. And from as far as I know, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't posted anything on Instagram in the last 2 days. So who knows? Maybe she'll come out with like some sort of statement or something. I don't fucking know. It's just stupid. Like, guys, it's very simple. Like, and look, and I know I said this was done, but I'm talking just a little bit more. Okay. Here is the difference between Democrats and Republicans, especially when it comes in this whole Trump era. Like, a lot of, I'm not gonna say all, a lot of Republicans looked at Trump like he was some sort of fucking demigod, like he was an actual god. Like they were, like you don't see, like now that Biden has won, you don't see Democrats still walking around with Biden Harris signs on their doors and windows and cars and wearing equivalent "Make America Great" hats around. Like our side won, we moved on with our lives. That's what we do. The fact that you still have Republicans still with still wearing MAGA hats and still with the signs on their doors and they're driving around with their flags, like this wasn't about your person. You guys are looking at Trump as he is a god, like he's infallible. Like we don't do that shit. Like again, once the election was over, we moved on with our lives. How is it difficult? Like even when Trump won in 2016 or 2017 or whenever the hell he won. We didn't go around sitting here like trying to fight the election, even though we thought that it was rigged and did it. Look, all of that same shit that y'all did, we don't do that. Like Once the election is over, we move the fuck on, for better or for worse. And I feel like Republicans, y'all still sitting here acting like y'all the fucking victim when we have a group of y'all crazy motherfuckers who stormed the Capitol. But again, like I said, I'm not trying to turn this into a political thing, even though it is a political thing now at this point. But again, like I said, I wish Gina Carano the best in all her future endeavors. And again, it's just unfortunate. It really is. Like, I really wanted her to win. I really wanted the cancel culture to not get her, and she ended up doing it herself. And now people are trying to compare this to the whole Rosario Dawson thing, and I'm like, completely different story, completely different situation. What happened with Rosario Dawson was nothing even in comparison. And guess what? You see the difference between Gina Carano and Rosario Dawson is Rosario Dawson kept her fucking mouth shut. Rosario Dawson had either an assistant or some sort of like housekeeper or something like that that was trans, and she ended up firing him. And then he tried to come back and say that there was some sort of like racial or like sexist or trans thing about it. None of that shit was proven. But even after that, people were trying to cancel Rosario Dawson for that. But you know what she didn't do? She didn't come back out with like other statements trying to demean or trying to compare herself as the victim and da 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 da. Like, she shut the fuck up. And that's what you should do. In those situations, shut the fuck up and get your money. And you would still have a job. Mm, mm, mm. All right, guys. Once again, this is Show Me the King.